What is happening, world? How are you? We are back again. Another week of Now It's Debatable. We've been gone for a while now, a couple of weeks. Warren's been gone even longer because he's been out working, making money. And we're happy to have him back, though, safe and sound, nice and healthy. I was going to tell you, Warren, we were having a technical shit. And you can see you've been hitting the gym while you're on that boat. So I saw when.
Oh, you can't. Oh, I wasn't saying anything.
Oh,
I
okay.
just
I'm
was
sorry. I
nodding.
thought the sound. I was like, oh shit, the sound went out. I was like,
My bad. I was
no,
moving
you
my
can
lips. My
always
bad.
tell when Warren goes because like Warren goes to work, but it's like he went away, and he hits the gym while he's gone. When he gets out, he comes back
Right.
beefed up, making sure nobody touched his woman while he was away doing his
Pretty
time.
much.
And so yeah, but you could tell as soon as you sat down, bro. You've been eating right and hitting that gym. How was the cruise?
The cruise is good. First of all, let me say I miss the community. Am I coming in too loud? Am I too hot?
No, no, you're good, bro.
Good. Excellent. I missed the community and just the back and forth and the love everybody has for everybody else in the group. And of course, I missed you both, Mr. Scarecrow, most of all. Um, It was good. It was good, except sadly because of the variant and whatnot, Delta Burke out there hurting people, they wouldn't let us off the boat as often as they promised us. We went to Alaska. I thought I'd see some icebergs, and we didn't. And then the first week I was out, we lost passengers, as in they passed away.
Oh
So there were
wow.
5 people in the pilot. They went on a seaplane, and unfortunately, Alaska is no joke once you get up in the mountain area, and they didn't make it back. So that was a very somber rest of the cruise. I think we had like 3 days left of that cruise, so
Wow.
it was memorable. It was crazy. I didn't see any icebergs at all. Um, Other than that, yeah, I go to the gym when I'm there. Use that as booty boot camp because there's no excuse not to eat right. Everybody else is gaining weight. I'm trying to lose the weight they're gaining, and it works out. And also, I'm in the gym by myself. There's nobody there because everybody's there to eat.
Yeah, you're one of the few guys that I know, like myself, when we go on a work trip, we still work out. Uh,
Right.
and not everybody does that. And I've always make sure I stay with the
Oh,
gym.
so just shame the guy in the middle. Okay.
I said he's one of the few guys. I didn't say he's the only guy, so you outed yourself. Uh, but yeah, so you've been putting in that work. Thank you for making it back safely, man. We're very happy to have you back, obviously, and we
Good to be
missed you
back.
too. We missed you too, and the crew missed you. Some of them are throwing some love up here to you. Someone let us know that we were late. I know we were late. We were having some technical issues that we're trying to resolve so that we can give you a good show. So we do apologize, but we are here now. All three of us here, mighty. We're mighty as one. Dion, how you doing?
I'm really, really tired, but I am well. I had a busy weekend in New York City. We played Caroline's, me, Pat, and Cortland, and 5 shows. New York is a different animal, to say the least. It was cool to be there for a couple of days, but man, am I glad I'm home.
I haven't had the pleasure to hit New York yet. I'm hoping to be able to just go and check it out once everything gets cleared up. I got some friends out there, New York, Jersey, Pennsylvania, the East Coast period. So I want to get out there and check it out. Um, Thank you guys for letting me know that I'm echoing. I'm trying to adjust things here as we go. I think
Did
I got
this
the echo
fix it?
taken. What's that, Warren?
Did this fix the echo issue? Because I had my speaker on, which was showing up on this microphone. So I put the
Yes.
headphones in. Did that fix it?
Yeah, it seems like it did. Yep,
Sorry
that
about
did.
that. That was
Yep,
me. That
no
was all
worries.
me. All me.
All right, so we got that worked out. We got a fun show for you guys. Before we jump into it, let me get to some comments real quick. Kathleen and Cheryl were letting us know that we were echoing. Thank you guys very much for that. Again, anytime we have some technical issues, we're going to try to adjust those as quickly as we can. So thank you guys very much. Robert wants my volume up a little bit. Robert, let me know how I sound for you there, my friend. Hopefully everyone else is sounding good. I just adjusted the volume for you guys there. Everyone here saying hello, and so hello to you all. I just want to jump right into the show. We got a kind of a new format.
But before
That
you do that,
oh
you gotta thank
oh
our patrons, and you gotta remember share that button. Hit
I,
that share button,
yeah,
guys.
man. I'm in such a rush. I'm in such a rush. Thank you to our patrons on Patreon. Shout out to Shandis, Katie Horgan, Cami, and Kathleen. Thank you guys very much. I apologize for almost forgetting to thank you, as I like to do. Thank you if you're listening, watching us on Facebook Live, on YouTube. We're trying to figure that out still. So we're tweaking as we go, trying to make the show better for you, trying to make the show better for us as well. Also, you'll notice down here, just below me in the left corner here, a clock. we're set at 4 minutes. A clock set at 2 minutes. What we're going to do going forward, unless we decide it's not working for everyone, uh, I will introduce the topic. The 4 minute clock will start. The three of us will go through it, and then we will take 2 minutes. That's why you have the 2 minute clock, where we would try to get through some comments, and then we're on to the next topic. We want to keep the show moving along. We want to be able to hit more topics as opposed to just three. That's why we asked you guys to show us some love and give us some topics we could do, which we are going to do quite a few of those. And thank you guys for being a part of the show and doing that for us. All right. If I can get on with the rest of the show, we can do this right now. Our first topic we're going to do. I must admit before I introduce it, is not my favorite thing because I don't think I need to be reminded of it every year. I've talked to some friends of mine, some family members, who feel the same. When they say something like "never forget," I don't think any of us will ever forget. So I think it's an asinine statement to be made, and I don't like the fact that we have to relive it visually. In fact, I saw one woman who actually, Dion, you'll love this. She was at the gym with her friends. They were working out. She took a picture with her friends at the gym, and she hashtagged it 9/11 tribute workout. And I just thought, what are we doing? How does that? Anyway, let's just jump into
To
it.
those who couldn't climb the stairs fast enough, what the fuck? I don't know.
So the question
Wow.
was the topic was thrown out to us. 9/11. We're 20 years later. How have we changed? And that can be individually. If you feel like you've changed individually, that can be just your community that you see each and every day, your family, or your thoughts on how have we changed as a nation since that happened 20 years ago. And Dion, we'll jump to you first on this one.
Well, I will tell you the truth about 9/11. What for me 20 years ago as opposed to now, I do not trust our government whatsoever with the first story they come out with. Like I don't believe them at all. That whole I remember when 9/11 happened, I was in world history class in high school and we were watching it on CNN, and the camaraderie everybody exhibited those following days was amazing. But how quickly we all turned on Muslims, and not everybody, but the majority of the country, how we got to, all Muslims are terrorists and the anti-Islamophobia and all the since then, that really, really impacted me because I have a lot of Muslim friends. And it for me, I just, you know, looking back on it, how upset I was at what happened, and then we got the narrative that we found their passports, and it just none of it started to make any sense. And then we went to Iraq, and they were blaming Saddam, and it's just like none of this stuff added up. So for me, 20 years after, I hate taking my shoes off at the airport. I I hate TSA with a passion. It's just a waste of time because my water bottle that I brought to the airport is no different than the water bottle that you sell me once I get past that gate. It's literally the same thing. It's a waste of time. So for me, I'm a little bitter, um, and I think it sucks that all those people died unnecessarily. Um, but I definitely don't believe it was a terrorist attack at all.
Warren, what's your thoughts on it today?
Uh, I agree with a lot of what Dion said, and I don't know if you guys remember a couple years back they said here's a bunch of Muslims celebrating the fact that something happened to America, and I remember the clip they used. The timing didn't look right, so this could have been someone's wedding. It could have been anything, and they just threw it up there. There was no beginning, there was no middle, there was no end. There was just they hate us, and then it shows yay, woo, Allah Akbar. So everything's out of context. So I agree with him. You can't believe anything that we're just given. Sadly, it's like a high school football team. We're all against each other until we have a unified front. That's what we need. We need a unified front. So we don't like the Trojans. Oh, the Trojans. So that's what it was. Someone picked Muslim, and they said we'll run with that. And unfortunately, a lot of people just jump on the bandwagon. You don't need facts. You don't need to think about it yourself. You just jump on what everybody else is doing. I do want to say to Dion, for $85, you don't have to take your shoes off anymore.
Yeah,
You pay that TSA thing, and again, to me, that
yeah.
$85 is worth it. When I walk past those people, I go, "You peasants!"
You told me that
I just
before
keep
that you
walking.
felt like
Oh my
that.
goodness, $85 makes a difference. But yeah, we're good for a time. We're good for a time when we have something in common to aim at. But once that goes away, it was just like that when I would do shows overseas. The further I was from actual frontline danger, the less I kind of cared that we were there. You know, the people in Iraq and Kuwait, they loved us. We went back to Dubai, did some shows. They didn't care because they weren't in danger.
Yeah, to your point, well, to one of the points you made, you both made some great points. I'm gonna try to be quicker because we got only 38 seconds on this one. But uh, I love the way you put that, War B, because when you were explaining, I feel like it's like like the Middle East turned into our homecoming game. Like we get up for this game, everyone shows up for this game, everybody roots against the Middle East for that game and that one, and we only care about that one game. It's almost like we only care about 9/11 for that one game every year, and 9/11 is absolutely it. I'm glad that both of you and Dion kind of kicked it off because I talked to Tamara, my wife, for people who may be new to the show. We were talking about this last night, and she's a very thoughtful person. She's like I call her my little Smurf. She's just very thoughtful. She's always kind of take everybody into account, and tries to keep me emotionally honest that way at times. She said, while we run around saying never forget, and watching the footage and so on and so forth, she said the one thing she thinks that we do forget was how a lot of us treated people from the Middle East, even if they were American born. They may just had that background in their family. She said that's the one thing that makes her feel sorrow is that we never remember that and we never go back and revisit that to the point where we apologize or try to show some type of improvement from that. So I thought it was great that you guys both kind of touched on that. Great points by both you guys here. Uh, let's see here. Kathleen says, "Oh yes, Robert Scott Brock. Yeah, man. Tribute. I'm sorry. Let me start this clock here. Yeah, Robert. Yeah, tribute workout. Absolutely. It was just maddening to me, brother. Kathleen says, and I thought this was interesting. Kathleen, not surprising, but interesting. Kathleen K says the photos of people taking smileys of themselves at the memorial pissed her off, and it would piss me off too. That is not a place to to take selfies. I'll just leave it at that. Warren, I kind of see you nodding. You want to jump in on that one?
I was thinking in the context. Either way, it doesn't look good. But if you're trying to have a remembered moment with my brother passed away there. Hey, let me smile, picture my brother, and I'm still thinking of you. That's one thing. So it's another thing where context. We don't know what context it's in. So to us, it looks like a bunch of yahoos smiling at some stuff that's not funny.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Dion.
It's a tourist attraction. I mean, at the end of the day, all cemeteries are tourist attractions. You go to visit the people who are no longer here, and what you do there is supposed to be in good taste, but anybody can take something and say they don't like it. So I don't have a problem with people going there and taking pictures, but at the same time, I can absolutely understand why some people would be pissed off about it.
Yeah, I would be definitely pissed off about it, and I can definitely see Warren's point where context matters. But I have to be honest and true to who I am, and just say I'd be mad if I saw it happening, and I couldn't imagine. To me, it's almost like I've never seen it. Maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong. I've never seen anyone go to the cemetery and take pictures with the headstone when you go. This is some place where you're supposed to remember, have some type of quiet thought, peaceful thought, and mourn, have that moment of mourning, and let other people have it. I don't know if taking selfies is doing that.
Oh, they don't necessarily take selfies, but I've been to many funerals with photographers, so they
Have,
always
I've, I've,
capture the widow crying or
I've
whatnot.
never
So
seen that. I've never. Warren, have you seen that? I've never seen that.
I have I have not.
Okay.
I
Um,
have.
I'm sorry, we stayed a little long on that one with Kathleen, so I'm gonna touch on a couple of bit more, then we'll move to the next topic here. Uh, let's see, says going to try to stay on as long as possible. Okay, we have a dumb tropical storm coming. I'm not sure who sent that.
That was
Or
Victoria.
Victoria. Okay, Victoria. Yes, you stay on as long as you can, but you get to safety. Get the hell off of here. Go get to safety. Don't worry about us. We just care about you being okay. Um, and as we always say, let us know if you need anything. You need us to sing you anything, you let us know. We'll make sure you get whatever you need if you need that. Uh,
That sounds like socialism.
Kathleen says, never forget, but do people even acknowledge the stories of who were lost? Like how many names and stories do they actually know? I'm sure a lot of people don't know. I wouldn't imagine. Anybody else have a thought on this?
You're probably. I was just honestly in my mind comparing it to Remember the Alamo. The further you get from when it happened, because when it happened, I'm sure everybody was like, "Yeah, it was Wednesday. We were there. We remember." But then time goes on. We kind of know Remember the Alamo. Kind. I mean, I know the story. I know what it was. I've been there. I went to the Alamo. There is no basement in the Alamo. Pee Wee Herman lied to us. Um, you didn't see Pee Wee's Big Adventure?
I did, but I
Oh,
don't remember that.
for those who saw, who remember, yeah, there was no basement in the Alamo, and poor Pee Wee was like, "Where's the basement?" And they were like, "We don't have one." It was sad.
Uh, real quick, I'm gonna touch on you here real quick, Mary. But let me jump down and see Victoria. Victoria says, "Send me beer." Victoria, see, that's why I don't like socialism. See, you're already mistreating it. Are already mistreating it. All right. Mary says, Sydney, I completely agree with your wife. I detest generalized hate and prejudice. Again, you probably much like my wife, very thoughtful. And again, that was something I had not even really given that much credit to that. Robert Scott Brock says, before MWR days, see, with TA, I was part of Peacekeepers and Sinai. We were referees then. Good analogy about Mideast as a homecoming game. Yeah, I'm giving all credit to that one to Warren B over there because he's kind of put that on my mind. And Mary's dying laughing at you over here, Dion, with your socialism talk. All right, let's go ahead and jump to our next topic. Thank you guys again for watching the show. As usual, I'm maybe speaking a little fast. I feel like I'm a little sped up at a busy day today. Uh, just jumped on here just in the nick of time, so forgive me if I'm speaking a little quickly. But we're going to jump into our next topic here.
Sorry, that was me.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I was like, someone's calling. Next topic is I can't remember who sent it in, so forgive me. But it's about a comedian and joke thieves. David Arnold, for people who may not be aware, and I know some people may not, is a stand-up comedian. According to the video he posted on Twitter, he's been doing it for 26 years. He just dropped a Netflix special. I'm gonna say late last year, earlier this year. But there is a comedian out there named Joe Hill, and the only reason I'm using his name is because David used his name, so I feel comfortable using this comedian's name. There is footage of him at Levity at one of Levity's comedy clubs, using two, in my opinion, blatantly stealing jokes from David Arnold and stealing them from a Netflix special. I'm assuming that's where he got them, and using them at a real
His own special.
rest. So, um, and someone wanted to know what our thoughts were about this
Sydney,
specific. Obsess.
I'm sorry, you didn't hit the timer yet.
Oh no, I did not. Nah,
Oh, you did it at the end?
yeah. I'm
Okay,
gonna do
my
it
bad,
once
my bad.
once I intro.
Gotcha.
Um,
I'm sorry.
no.
Let me be the timekeeper, motherfucker.
so I would. So they wanted to know what were our thoughts as three professional comedians about that specifically and about joke thievery in general. So I'm gonna let you guys take it away. Um, I'll let you jump on this first, Warren.
I used to slap people for things. Less than stealing my material, so that's definitely a slappable offense. What made it worse was when he showed the video, he said it's not like you could say maybe the guy just doesn't know me and we have similar thoughts. And then it shows the thief writing on his board, sending him a personal message that, hey man, I love what you do. I've been a big fan, blah blah blah. And then another one saying, hey, I love what you do. I just watch your stuff. It's good. So you knew you knew. There's no excuse from what I've seen.
And he
You
put him in
knew.
his
So
top
yeah.
three comics of all time.
Oh, he did do that. He did do that. So yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
all I got for it.
When when you first start out as a comic, you don't know what joke thieving. You don't know how big of a egregious no that is. Like when you first start out comedy, you literally know nothing. All you see is people doing it on TV, and you think, oh, I can do that. I'll just go and say what comes to my mind, or I'll repeat something that someone said. You literally don't know. But for this guy Joe Hill to be recording specials, he clearly knew what he was doing, and the fact that he had the audacity to inbox the guy who he stole from to tell him he was the top three of all time comics from him, and then turn around and try to say, no, I never stole your jokes, is, to me, is just like, where do they create these people with these kinds of balls? Like I just, to me, it was one of the most ballsy and stupid things I could ever think of.
I was amazed by it because again he took two jokes straight from the Netflix. Didn't try to change him up a little bit. I mean he cursed more than David does, so you can see that. But the premise is there. The punch, the same punch, the setup, all of it's the same for the most part. It was just amazing to me. And to do it, you didn't do this, at the Chuck Wagon Bar and Grill. You did this at one of Levity's clubs
Yeah.
where they're recording. I was
I'm
absolutely
surprised he changed the kid's name to his own kid's name.
yes. But I'm with Warren. I have put my hands on people for less, and I would have a real problem if you were using my material that I worked really hard to write and to perfect. If for people who don't do it for a living, it takes years to get a joke to where you're like, this joke is perfect. I don't need to touch it. And then when you get it to that point, you're almost tired of even telling the joke. So it takes a long time sometimes to get a joke just right, and then have someone just come in and steal it and use it. More.
Eh, eh,
Oh
No,
dear.
I'm gonna go ahead, Dion.
I was gonna say you're never even fully done with a bit. Like you can always make a bit better. Sometimes you have old bits where you're like, oh, I don't need this joke anymore, right? You think you're done with it, and then you get a new bit, and then you're like, oh crap, I can bring this old joke back, and now it's new again because I can add to it. So for him to, dude, the blatant steal, that wasn't to me. That wasn't the worst part of it. He went on Instagram and he said I'm a because he was flying as all this was being dropped. Like so
Joe.
he was on a plane. Joe Hill was, and he
Okay.
didn't know what was going on. So he was in the air for 5 hours while all this shit is coming out, right?
Oh,
So
oh.
he lands, and obviously his notifications are blowing up, and so he says, "I'm going to sleep on this, and I'll have a response the next day." He goes to sleep. He wakes up the next day, releases his response, and then immediately deletes it. So it's like you knew what you were doing.
Uh,
There's no defense for what you did. So, it's basically one of those things where you're caught with your hand in the cookie jar. And instead of putting the cookie back and saying, I'm sorry, you try to eat it and act like, I don't know what you're talking about.
uh,
mm.
Warren, before we go to the comments, I want you because you do a good job at bridging us to the audience. What would you compare what Joe Hill did for the everyday man and woman? What you know?
That
What
might
we come
make people mad if I say what it is, because honestly, it's just like when the last president's wife took a speech that, and I'll give her. I'm sure she had no idea that the words she was saying had been spoken before by the previous first lady. So that to me is what it's like. It's like you didn't steal a little bit; you damn near verbatim took something that was already out there for the world to see and just tried to pawn it off like it was your own.
with no
So that's
shame.
that's with no shame.
With
With
no
no
shame.
shame.
Both
The
What
of
I wondered
difference
was
is
how
he
did you
knew
think
what he was doing.
how did you think it wouldn't come back to this guy? As a comic, we all know each other. So why did you think this wouldn't come back?
this is the worst. I was going to say I would almost and it's I don't want. Let's go to the comments. I'm gonna no because I don't want to create a outline for the show and then start breaking it. So let me go to the comments here. Um, Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to click that share button. Click that share button if you're enjoying the show. Victoria says comedy is hard enough. You were right about that, Victoria. Let me see me slide up here a little bit. That's just a dumb thief. Yes, it is. Absolutely agree with that, there, Mary. Uh, Robert says, "What is your take on the Joe Rogan Carlos Mencia incident? Jay Moore admitted to stealing." Let's take a couple of minutes on that, and we'll get to some more comments. Uh, Anybody want to jump in and what their thoughts are? I know it's a little dated, but Robert asked, "What's your thoughts on the whole Joe Rogan Carlos Mencia thing?" Um,
You mean us?
yes.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful. For those of you who don't know, was Carlos Mencia at a show and Joe Rogan came into the show and saw him straight up stealing someone's material, and because he's Joe Rogan, he knows everybody. He went up on stage and just said, "Hey, you're stealing this guy's material. It's a guy we know, a guy who we love." And it got to a point where eventually they just walked out with a second microphone and handed it to Joe, and it became a debate where Carlos basically said, "So what? I steal." Which makes me want to slap you harder. The fact that you're just now you're going to double down on it. So he stole, and whoever put this together was masterful because they took several clips from several different people who know and have worked with Carlos, asking him, "Hey, remember when they asked Bobby Lee? They're like, hey, he steals some jokes," and he was like, "Yeah, this one time," and then he looks right at the camera and goes, "Are you recording? No, I don't know," which obviously says he was about to drop some knowledge
Right.
and then realized it was taped and didn't want to be in the middle of it. So then they showed clips of stuff that he stole, and it was just like this last situation. So you knew what you did. What's to say about it? What's he
And,
gonna do?
and
Write people checks now?
and I think he stole from Bill Cosby. Actually, I
He
thought I.
did.
He
It was a
stole
football
from
joke.
George Lopez, Bill Cosby, Ari Shaffir, a bunch of other lesser known guys. The thing about what made Carlos is so egregious is because he had industry backing him. If you guys remember, Joe Rogan got banned from I want to say the Comedy Store in LA because they sided with Carlos because he was drawing money at the time. Carlos, this was right after Chappelle left, so Carlos had kind of
Yep.
filled that void on Comedy Central,
Yep.
and he was the hottest fucking thing around. And if you don't have the material for the opportunity that you're given, the chances of you stealing or borrowing, as Carlos liked to say, increases exponentially. So one, I fault Carlos because he knew what he was doing, and two, I'm proud of Joe Rogan for speaking up because we don't have a comics union, and and if you're not looking out for other comics, regardless of what level you're on, to me, you're kind of a shitbag in this industry because we're all working to get on the same 3 spots on every show that we do. And if you aren't looking out for, we don't all have to get along, but at the same time, we all have to have the integrity of being stand-up comedians and what that entails. So for Joe Rogan to stand up for it and for this Joe Hill guy to act like he didn't know what he was doing the same way Carlos did is just disgusting. And we
One of
don't
the
do
thing,
that in the business.
one of the things that gets me, and I think Carlos Mencia would, to a certain extent, should have been a warning to other comics to come behind him, is that while Carlos was on top because he had the Comedy Central thing going for a minute, there will be some type of retribution where where you will be punished for being a joke thief, especially when your fellow comics find out that you're a joke thief. And I think eventually that kind of filters through, and you lose bookings, and you become less than whatever you were at the time. And I think Joe Hill will feel the same. Again, Deanna and I were talking before the show. We're like, we don't know who the hell this guy was before this. I'm sure he wishes he could crawl back under whatever rock he was under before this came out, because now every comic from coast to coast, if not around the planet, knows his name and knows he's a joke thief, and probably won't want to do material in front of him when he's in the room. I know comics here that wouldn't do material when other comics will come in because they felt like that person was a joke thief. So it's just not a scarlet letter you want to walk around with.
Yeah, it's like betting on baseball. You turn into Pete Rose. You never get in the Hall of Fame, no matter how good you are.
Well done, well done, well done. More you want to jump back in with something else?
Pete Rose threw me off. I can't remember what I was going to say.
Okay,
It was something along that point, but Pete Rose was so good. You hit a home run.
All right. It's good. Touch on this real quick. Facebook user, sorry, I can't see your name or your face. Victoria says, "Fuck that guy," so I like that one. And then right beneath that one, someone says, "Mencia kind of reminds me of Takeshi 6ix9ine in some ways." So
that's Michelle Nagata.
Oh, Michelle, I think that's funny, Michelle. Nice reference. I like that. Kathleen says, "Is there a way to copyright your stuff and sue over that type of thing?" Um, I'm going to say no, because it still happens all the time to the biggest and the best that ever done it. So
there is, but financially, it makes no sense to
yeah.
sue somebody who has less money than you. So,
And
I'm
then
sorry.
Go ahead.
Is Victoria hiding under a table making these comments?
I just that's
what I picture. I just picture the winds going, and she's like, "Type this in."
Hanging on to a tree, typing, texting.
Yes.
I hope
Voice
not.
to chat.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Facebook user says Amy Schumer also verbatim repeated a lot of Patrice O'Neal jokes too, but she seems to have escaped the flack for it. You're right on both accounts. Robert says, "Can't understand why anyone would want to alienate themselves in their profession." And then Victoria says, "Warren, yes, I am." So she is under the table.
Oh, no, that's not funny. That's not funny.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next one here. So this comes from Kathleen, And Kathleen, I must admit, I don't have to admit anything because Kathleen's always bringing some knowledge to a lot of things that we haven't seen just yet. Sometimes I think Kathleen is in the administration. All right, she gets this news so faster than the rest of us. But the Biden administration with their American Families Plan, which is still being debated on in Congress right now, we'll see if it even passes. But there's a lot of different things in it, like all of these bills that get pushed through. The one thing that has kind of leaked out is that the Biden administration would like the IRS to have a little more oversight with the banks. And when I say oversight, they want the banks to let them know, keep track of how much money you have in your bank account, how much money you're moving in your bank account and moving out of your bank account. They want to be able to see that information on every American within the four walls of the United States. There was a few different reasons that I read in the article, but the one that jumped out to me was they feel like they don't have enough um, information on the income of the self-employed business people and for the waiters, if you will, because there's a lot of cash that passes, and they don't trust that these people are letting the government know every dime that they are making. So they want to see that, and they want to be able to tax that accordingly. Warren, I can see by the look on your face that you're going to have some stuff to say, and I can't wait to hear it. So jump on in there, my man.
I just thought it was interesting because they didn't mention strippers. All right, they know strippers are making that money and doing some stuff with that money, but because everybody's secretly seeing these strippers behind closed doors, you don't want to ruin your own playland. So I thought it was funny they're going after waiters
Yeah.
and the strippers. No one mentions that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
As a former waiter for many years, I find it
I'm
so
sorry. I thought you were going to say as a former stripper.
egregiously.
That would have been hilarious.
No, I'm still currently doing that, Warren. Mind your business.
Sorry, my bad.
I find it egregiously disrespectful that you would go after people who make $2.13 an hour as their base pay, and then
And
they have
Dion,
to live
I
off.
hate to cut you off. I want you to finish. I just want to make sure that I give you accurate information because Kathleen did share a point with me that I did forget. It's on anyone who has $600 or more in your bank account. So go ahead, Dion.
Those aren't the people you need to worry about doing egregious things. If you only have $600 in your bank account, you are not someone who the IRS should be targeting for your tax evasion. When you're poor in this country, the last thing that you're really worried about is trying to get over on other people. Like, you're just trying to survive.
Right.
Now, I get that there are poor scammers out there. I understand that, but I would say the vast majority of people who live paycheck to paycheck are not out here trying to steal people's money. They definitely don't have uh, offshore accounts, and they're not cheating the IRS every year in taxes. So if $600 is more important than the billionaires who aren't paying their fair share, then I mean, what's the point? What's the point of having a bank account? Like, why even if you're just making cash, then why even go to the bank? I would just pull all my money out of the bank, and you would have no records.
Dion, you've led me right into where I was going to go. I don't need you to worry about the dude who's bringing me my sandwich over at the Applebee's. I need you to worry about the motherfucker who wore a cowboy hat flying into space. All right, that's getting to his bank account. That's who you need to be concerned with, not us poor self-employed people out here who are just trying to make a living and build our wealth up or build our own nest egg or do whatever you're doing, and definitely not some stripper or any waiter or any. How much money of the little persons do you need to satisfy yourself? Your big fish that you seem to be ignoring are right there, and they're building fucking spaceships for crying out loud and flying into space. There should be some tax just on that. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? It is the most asinine thing to me, and it really, really did bother me. Uh, Only because every time I turn around, it seems like they are trying to get more and more invasive when it comes to our economics, our money. And I am someone who does not like other people counting my motherfucking money, and I don't need help from the government counting my money.
That's a
Yeah,
beautiful
it's
meme. If you have spaceship money, come on.
Yeah, I like if $600, like, so we just all gonna keep our accounts at $5.99. Is that it's
Right?
like like you know how many accounts I would open and
580
each
everywhere.
one
That's funny.
each one will have 580 in it, and I'm like, oop, not that card, this card, oop, not that card, this card. Like,
Come
how ridiculous is it?
on.
It's so stupid
Got a
that
deck of
this is
cards in his hand.
yes, it makes no sense to me. Like I the IRS makes it so difficult to actually file taxes anyway with all this convoluted jargon and bullshit. Like you file your taxes and then they're, oh, you didn't pay us enough money. Like, motherfucker, you had your chance. Like, if you knew I owed you more, you should have said something then, because it's too late now. That money, the little bit of money that I did have, is going to something else. Catch me next year. Like, the IRS can eat a dick.
There's going to be a lot of cash transactions at the Smith house. That's all I'm saying.
Literally just today, earlier in the day, I've been on a boat. I've been gone for almost 2 months. So one of the mail things was the way the taxes are, the way my bank account works is I was
Got to
supposed to
checking into
pay
savings.
earlier than I thought I was supposed to pay. New tax bracket, something's going on. So I have a late fee to pay because I didn't pay it within this time. Well, when I paid what I did pay, why didn't you just take the money then when you were taking money? So why did you let this time go by to go, oh, we need $200 more?
Right,
You're already taking my money. So,
right,
and the reason why I mention this is I went to, mytax.gov from my state, and it's not easy. You'd think I would just say, here's my claim number, here's some money, but they want me to sign in, log in, make a password, do all this extra stuff. Nothing else in my life is that difficult to pay. So why do you need to be deeper into my finances where I got to make up a password that you know what my PIN is? I don't like the way any of that feels.
right, right.
Here's how I've always felt. If I owe you money, it's on you to come get it. I'm not going to you if I owe you money.
Good
If
to
I owe
know.
you money,
Good to know.
if I
Good to
owe
know.
you
Good
money,
to know.
if I owe you money and you know I owe you money, you know where I stay, you better come get it. Because guess what? If I needed to borrow it, guess what? The chances of me having it by the time you show up ain't looking good. I've
D-
always
See?
been the cash over credit type dude, because this whole credit shit is all made up anyway.
Di asked for all loans just before he steps on a plane. Just so.
I
All right.
just deposited 2 different $600 checks today, and now that you're mentioning this, I'm like, I wish they would.
You got
All
to take
right.
one of those checks out.
I'm gonna take both out.
Let's get to some of these comments here. Danae says, as a property manager, we rented at one point to a waitress. We got paid every month in 5s, 10s, and 20s. LOL. And that's how it is. That's how it is. That's how they make that money to survive. Robert Scott Brooks says, it's just feeding the pig, programs we've never heard of. Absolutely. And just another way. You're right. And that did cross my mind as well, Robert. Facebook user says, I like this if they go after people who are actually hiding their money and not the lower class. Absolutely. There's other people you should be aiming this gun at. Mary Ballard says 600 won't pay the rent or the mortgage. So you're right. Um, Kathleen says it's so ridiculous. Excuse me, so ridiculous. They're going to track my kids buying candy bars. Exactly, the poor aren't the issue. Victoria, shit, 600 won't be enough for groceries and lights. Right. If you got $600 in there, it needs to be spent on something. I don't know what you need to track that for. We out here trying to survive, most of these people. Robert says the issue is antiquated tax system, which they won't go through and change at all. Let's see here. Let me scroll here through some of these, get through them so we can, move on to the next topic. Kathleen says, and the IRS can't even do their actual job as it is. They're still processing shit from 3 years ago. I sent seething emails to all my reps and included some Ice Cube quotes. And that was a point that was in the article that I read, Kathleen, where they did talk about how there is so much a backlog on things at the IRS. This will just be one more thing. And the banks don't really care for it because now you're putting even more weight on them. I don't care for it because I can see my fucking fees going up at the bank to pay for this shit.
I don't care for it because I only got $600 in there anyway, so it's none of your motherfucking business.
Wendy's with us tonight. She said, "What's up, Wendy? We're gonna be getting to your topic here real shortly here." All right. And Sheila Morgan says, and they wonder why people back in the day was putting money in mattresses instead of the bank. Hey, y'all, I'm telling you right now, go out there and get yourself a safe. Home Depot got them on sale right now for about $60. You can stack you some cash in there. You ain't got to put it in the bank. I know a lot of people right now have been keeping a lot of cash at their house, and I don't want anyone here to say anything. I don't want anyone to get robbed. But I know a lot of people who've been keeping a lot of cash at the house starting with the pandemic because they said, I just don't trust the banks. Because when shit goes crazy, you're not going to tell me I can't have any of my money. So they're keeping a lot of cash at home in safes at the house. Warren, is that something that you, I mean, do you know anyone who's doing that at all?
I don't, but again, I've been gone. When you're on a boat, it's like you kind of forget life. I didn't watch TV there, so I had no idea what was going on in the news. So it was 7 weeks of who's doing what. So it was good. It was sad to
Victoria's,
come back.
I'm not trying to ignore you, Warren, not at all. But
No.
Victoria saying she's love you guys. It's getting bad outside. Signing off, Victoria. You, Jake, and the kids. You guys be safe. Again, let us know if you guys need anything down there at all. But stay safe. We love you too.
Post to the group when you can to let us know that you're good or okay,
Absolutely.
please.
All right. Let's go on to our next topic. Next topic is Halloween, and this one comes from Wendy Marie, and she just threw Halloween on the thread, and I said, Wendy, give me expound on this a little bit. What is it about Halloween? And Wendy says she's never cared for Halloween. She doesn't care for kids going out trick or treating. She doesn't even know why some people make kids say trick or treat. And I think there's something I'm trying to remember off the top of my head from our conversation earlier, where there's like different color buckets, depending on different things. Wendy, you're on here. Fill us in on that part there. Um, but Warren, you still have a child, at least one that is of Halloween trick or treating age. I don't
Right.
think I don't think the oldest cares about going anymore, right?
He's 14. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
Okay. What are your thoughts on trick or treating? What are your thoughts on Halloween? And what are your thoughts about the parents that won't give the candy? And this is kind of my favorite thing to do. What is your thought on the parent that won't give the candy to the kids that trick or treat? So it's like I was,
The parent that won't do what?
he won't put the candy in the bag or the bucket to the child says trick or treat. You gonna say trick or treat? Come on, you gotta say trick or treat.
Oh. I think it's kind of funny because you got to jump through this hoop. I bought candy full price. It's not discounted till tomorrow, so I paid full price for this candy.
Yes.
You're gonna say trick or treat. You're gonna say something.
Yes.
Take that mask off. Oh, it's you, Timmy. No, just I don't know because again, and several people have said it. We spend all this time telling kids don't talk to strangers, don't do this. Now we're straight up going to their houses, so we're not even letting neighbors or strangers come to us. We're going to the strangers, knocking on their door, expecting them to give us stuff. So it's a weird. It goes against what you've taught the kid their whole life.
And
But I
that was
guess
Wendy's
you know,
thing.
yeah, exactly. So since you're holding my hand, Dad, now it's okay to take this candy from this guy that neither of us know, and he looks at me out the window sometimes. So yeah, it's a weird. It doesn't make sense.
Right, because if he was out there giving out candy the day after Halloween, Warren would kick his motherfucking ass. Better stay away from my sons. Don't give my sons no fucking candy. But you were
Think
just
about
over
the
here
same
with a
thing.
bucket. That
3
was
months
yesterday.
early. Exactly.
It's new day today. Di, what's your thoughts on
Exactly.
it, man?
I think Halloween is specifically for children. The adults who like to get dressed up and go to parties and haunted houses. To me, it's the epitome of white privilege of paying to be afraid. It's just the most asinine
Paying
thing
to
that I
be
can think
afraid.
of. Like you spend money to go be afraid for an hour. Like I cannot. Halloween and horror movies are the biggest waste of money I can think of in my entire life. Like I
Interesting.
I literally can't wrap my head around spending money to be afraid. Like what the hell is wrong with you people? Like I don't know if it's because I'm a black American and I've had real fear in my life, but like the idea of working 40 hours a week and then go buying a costume and going into it, like I literally don't understand it. Plus my grandmother's birthday is on Halloween, so it's always been geared towards her more than the whole spectacle of trick-or-treating and whatnot. Like I get it, kids want to dress up, be their favorite characters, fine. You want to get candy, great. You don't want to pass out candy, turn your light off. What I can't stand is one, people who cock block the children, who pass out shitty fucking apples. And what are you doing? Just turn your lights off, Don't be the crappy person on Halloween. Get out of the people's way who want to celebrate it. I don't ever go to parties and be a bump on a log. I just like, nah, it's not my thing. I don't want to do it. I don't understand it. So personally, I don't want to participate. I'm not saying you can't do it. I don't think it's a good idea, but the whole idea of Halloween to me is just dumb.
I love Halloween. It's one of my favorite holidays. I enjoy.
It's not a holiday.
It is, and I enjoy scaring the shit out of people. I'm looking forward to later in life when I have more time to really spook out the house and scare the shit out of the neighborhood kids. I'm looking forward to that. But at this point, I like hanging out in the driveway with my neighbors, drinking some beers, passing out candy, maybe giving a beer or two to a dad that's coming by. I enjoy that. I think it's the one holiday, depending on what neighborhood you live in. I'm not saying this is for everyone, where you actually get to know your neighbors for at least for an evening, because they're walking up and down the street with the kids begging for candy, and you get to hang out with your neighbors that live directly next door to you, have a couple of beers, and make fun of some of these costumes that you see these kids in. So I enjoy it, and I guess they're blue buckets.
Like socialism.
Wendy was saying
that's all I heard you say.
For autism. So I enjoy it. I'm with it, man. I'm with it.
You're down with socialism. I've been telling you that for years.
And I'm the neighbor. I am. You gotta say trick or treat. Gotta say trick or treat. And I don't give candy to people who look like they could drive themselves to school. Get your ass out my driveway. I'm not giving you nothing. Get out of there. Go buy some candy.
I agree. Seems like 10 and under should kind of be the rule, unless you're at an actual party.
And the only thing that does bother me, I don't know who brought it up, is that the same candy I'm giving away when I go to the store tomorrow will be fucking 80% off. so it's the only thing that bothers me is that this candy cost me what it cost me for this holiday.
Right.
See, that's why you buy a year in advance.
So I can just give a gift. Or that.
They ain't your kids. Fuck them.
All right, let me get to some of these comments real quick here. Excuse me, Cammy, what's up, Cammy? Cammy says Halloween is my favorite. See, Cammy, you and I agree on so few things, but I'm glad we found this. We found this, Cammy. Wait a minute, Halloween might be socialism now with Cammy liking it. Now, Dion, you may have a point.
Yeah, I told you.
You may have a point there. Facebook user says, LOL, oh my God, I love that this is a debatable topic. I'm the same way with that one. Same way with that one. And yes, the blue buckets are autism. Wendy reminded me about that. Ray DeBurn, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, blue buckets for kids on the autism spectrum. Let me ask a question though, Ray, and to Wendy, because I'm not well versed in autism. Why does the bucket have to be blue? What is that? Is it just letting people know? Is there a reason why you need to let them know? Is it something
different candy in that bucket?
Say again?
Is there different candy in that bucket?
I'm wondering, is it something where you have to approach that child differently? Because certain kids, I think, on the spectrum don't like to be touched, or you can't get too close. I'm assuming, Wendy, Ray, if you guys could.
Fucker, you come to my house, you gonna put my mouth. Get the fuck out of here with your special bucket, nigga. What? I'm sorry. No, we're not separating. We're not separating groups. No, you're not.
Oh, you were the worst.
You gonna get this candy I got, or you gonna get the hell on? Is what you.
Oh my God. Okay, so Kathleen says blue buckets were to signal. Thank you, Kathleen. I didn't get to your comment. She says they're to signal a child has autism and likely doesn't communicate well. So that's what it's for. That's why he's got the blue bucket, Dion. You got to be nice, man.
Okay. I thought you were saying that the person who was giving out the candy had candy in that bucket, a blue bucket. But you're saying the children are carrying
yes, the children. I apologize. Okay. The children have
that
the
makes
blue
sense.
bucket.
I got it.
So, what about the poor kids who don't have buckets? Are they carrying?
They got
blue
pillow
sacks.
It's
blue
pillow
sacks now. They got blue Walmart bags.
No, those kids have their pockets. They putting all their candy in their green pockets. You know the kids. So
sorry, kids, we were gonna go trick or treating, but I got more than $600 in the bank, and the IRS done fucked up Halloween.
Right. We're laughing this year.
I can't buy candy. The government would know I'm spending money. So. All right. What he says, I love Halloween as far as haunted houses and private parties, but I don't like teaching your kids that it's okay to beg for candy and trust strangers one day a year, then the next day they should know better. That's kind of what Ward was talking about earlier. Yes. Yep. Someone says, ask, is it still allowed in COVID times? You know, last year we didn't think we were going to get anybody, and people were still out trick or treating with their kids last Halloween. Warren, did you guys get people in your neighborhood?
I think I was on a boat or working somewhere, but I don't know. To me, I see the humor side of the fact that who are you supposed to be? Then you got to move your mask and go, oh, you're Cleopatra, and then you put it back because you know what
I'm gonna I'm gonna give this one a couple of extra minutes because we got some good comments here.
I'm saying?
Oh, you're Cleopatra.
Wait a minute.
Who
Robert
the fuck,
says. Robert
who the
says.
fuck dresses up as Cleopatra?
Exactly.
Robert says, just give the kids the fucking candy. Robert, I'm not mad at that either. Just go to Walmart, buy your candy, rip it open, and throw it on the floor right there in your house. Let the kids have the candy right there. Put it in your bucket.
Yeah, you know who I hate are the one per kid people.
Yes.
If you're not gonna sit out there, fuck your one bucket rule. Like that to me, no. No. Like I said, turn the light off, take your candy in the house. If you're not gonna participate, don't participate. That's just to me, it's just stupid.
Dion, I can't wait.
Take one piece, please. No, I'm gonna help myself.
Dion, Dion, you got to fly out and give away chick candy with me this year. So I got to see this.
I would love to,
Uh,
but I think I'm working Halloween.
all right. Cabby says it gives kids the chance to dress up and be a part of the community experience. Cabby, you are so sweet. You are so sweet. The community experience. All right. When he says, then you can't even trust the crazy ass people that are handing out candy. I've x-rayed candy so many times to ensure that there weren't needles or any metal. Yeah, I remember having to do that when I was a kid. Ray DeBurn says, we got pennies one year. LOL. So,
Did they
But
put them
enough
in a little
about Christmas.
cardboard?
I hope you burned that house down, Ray. Did you burn that house down?
Ray, I think we went to the same house because I remember that.
Oh, Roxanne Ponce. Hope I'm saying that correctly, Roxana. She says, I love Halloween. I do too. Thank you. And thank you for watching. Guys, if you're enjoying us being completely silly, talking about Halloween and burning houses down, please go ahead and click that share button. Click that share button. Oh my goodness.
Cleopatra.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me hit some people we haven't read yet. Then we'll move on to our next topic, folks. Mary says it's an alert to let people know the child may have issues with noise, can't communicate. So we're back to the blue buckets. Okay. Thank you guys for educating me again. I did not know. Sheila Morgan said we go to different restaurants that have free food on Halloween and go buy candy the day after Halloween. You know what, Sheila? That is so good. I'm putting that up on the screen. And Sheila, you are getting an applause break because the Smith household might be 0 dark 30 this Halloween. We may go out and see who's giving away some free food and go buy this.
Oh, more socialism. I love to see the turn in you, my brother.
I've
What
never
is-
heard
I
of
had
free
to-
food on Halloween.
I don't know.
Me
I've
either.
never heard of this. I don't know.
I've heard
But
on your birthday, because remember we
I
go to
tell
a
you
couple
what.
different Denny's on your birthday. You hit 6
I'll
spots.
dress up as Cleopatra to see Sidney participate in socialism. Absolutely.
I tell you what, you dress
I'll
up
let
like
a snake
Cleopatra,
bite
you
my
ain't going
titty.
nowhere with me. You ain't going nowhere with me. You keep your eyeliner ass at home.
I'll let a snake bite my titty, no problem.
Ray DeBurr says people bitch about masks, and we wore those nasty plastic character masks and loved it. It couldn't hardly breathe, and we didn't care. You talk about couldn't breathe, Ray. We couldn't see either. I don't know how many of us almost got hit by cars trying to cross the street.
Not to mention that mask was handed down from year to year.
Yes. I don't know where this is sweaty. Charlotte, hey Charlotte, what's going on? Charlotte said, "Oh my God, my stepdad handed out pennies if you didn't say trick or treat." So I love that idea. So I should do that. Well, you know what?
Charge, yeah.
I'm not actually gonna give pennies. I might just give them rocks. Put rocks now. I don't just give money away for no reason.
Yeah, I hope you put wood over your window.
You know what? Now you mentioned it. Let me go ahead and give them pennies. All right. Denny's on your birthday has too much small print rules.
Uh,
That's why you go to Shoney's, baby.
Look,
That's why you go to Shoney's.
Ray says, "Oh, Charlie Brown." Ray, did you just call me Charlie Brown?
no, Charlie Brown, he got a rock on Halloween.
Oh, did he?
Remember?
Oh, that's
He's
right.
like,
That's
oh,
right.
I got a rock. Everybody else is, I got a rock.
Oh man! All right, I'm
Classic.
not gonna say what I'm gonna say
Shows
about
how
that.
old I am.
And I see you making fun of me there. All right, we're gonna move on to our next topic. Thank you guys very much. Kathleen says, like kids eat free with parent. Pizza Hut used to. Oh, all right, check it. But that pizza's shitty now. I can't do that. Even though they got my man Craig doing the commercials now. I like those Pizza Hut commercials with Craig, but the pizza's still shitty. Mary says, I work with a guy that puts Taco Bell sauce packets in older kids' bags.
I've gotten those before.
That is so good. That's so good.
I've gotten those before.
That is so
What the
good.
hell is this mild sauce? Don't go with Twix.
All right, we're gonna jump to our next one, and this is a new one that we've never done before. This may be something that sticks. Let's see. The three of us are gonna see how we like it, and hopefully you guys like it. Our best and worst of the weekend, and we're gonna go ahead and we take up to 4 minutes if we need to. If we get done sooner, then we'll just jump to the next one, and check out your guys if you have a best and worst of the weekend as well. Warren, what is your best and worst of the weekend, my friend?
Well, the worst, I'm going to go back to being on the boat. I was sleeping. It was 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm enjoying sleep, and my phone rings. I answer it, and the girl at the front desk on the boat says, "Hey, Doug so and so for you." And I go, "I'm sorry. What does that mean?" She goes, "Doug so and so is calling for you." I go, "Is that a passenger?" And she goes, "Yes." I'm like, "I don't know. Okay, hello." So he says, "Hey, I was so and so. Remember, I was heckling you at last night's show?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." Yeah, now you're calling to continue heckling me, sir? He goes, no, no. He goes, no, I know you're doing your adult show tonight. I had a couple ideas. I'm like, are you serious, sir? Is the captain punking me right now? What is going on? This dude went to the front desk with a list, had written down a couple of jokes he thought would be good for the act, called my room, and they were take home jokes. They weren't even like, what do you think about this? It was a rabbi goes into a bar. It was just crazy stuff, and I was like, no, I don't do that. He goes, well, do you know the other comics extension? Yes, I do.
That's
True
so
story.
cool. So I'm sorry. Was that your best or your worst?
That was definitely the worst.
All right, you go ahead and give your best, Warren. We're gonna do it right in a row.
I don't know if I actually had a best on the boat. There were some really strong shows. I guess something that made me feel good personally was I had a show and I didn't feel like I was connecting. It was weird. You know how it is as comics, or even though 95% is with you, that one dude who's fallen asleep is the only guy you see,
Yeah,
and now you're mad at this guy. It's like this
yeah.
guy's just he probably just had a long day in the sun. He was pulled around by a whale for a little bit. He's tired. He had to swim back to the boat, but I don't see any of that. I just see, why is this guy
Yeah.
nodding off during some of my best setups, that I stole from that other comic we talked about earlier. So I know the jokes work. I know
It's gonna be a Joe Hill video talking shit about Wolverine.
So I'm in my own head after the show, and I'm kind of feeling bad about it. And like maybe 10 seconds after the show, this woman goes, "Oh, I'm glad I caught you for your laugh. That was the funniest show I have ever seen. And I've been on 50 cruises and blah blah." It was one of those things. It was exactly what my little ego needed to go on to the next day. So
Great.
Wasn't that big a thing, but to me at the time, I needed that.
Dion, your best and worst?
I'll start with the worst of the weekend. It was seeing all the naked crackheads in New York City. Ugh.
What?
Just being in New York, man, is just a whole, like, here in Indiana we have crackheads, we have homeless people, but there's zones. In New York, it's a free for all. You hop on the subway, some dude's jacking his dick. You get off the subway, and there's a naked guy taking a shit. It's this is a city that never sleeps, so it's 24 hours of I don't know what's gonna be around the next corner. So my worst was seeing there were some swole, naked, homeless people. It's like, why are you so strong? With all this strength, you should build yourself a domicile, sir. Uh, just and the trash. There's literally trash everywhere. Just trash on top of trash.
Why are you so strong? Your best?
My best of the weekend was finally working in New York City. That was I've always wanted to work in New York City. 5 shows. I only liked one of them, but it was the last show of the week, and so I left feeling like, you know what? I knew it wasn't me. I knew it was those people, and you know, I just had a great ending of my weekend there with a really, really good, strong second show Saturday that I was really, really happy with. And
You can't say strong to us anymore like that.
Cannot.
We immediately did you revert to? He said really strong. I was like, here we go again.
Where's that homeless guy at?
I thought
they were holding
you saw
up
the
my
Lil Nas
set,
X video.
So I don't really have I have a worse and worser of the weekend.
Oh.
So the worst was yesterday, or waking up this morning. I went out and drank with my buddies first Sunday, football Sunday. Went out and drank with them, and woke up and realized I cannot do that like that anymore. The alcohol now settles in my hips, all right, and my hips hurt all day long.
Hips.
This is the worst.
He was out drinking last night. Now he looks like Shakira.
Sidney Shakira Smith, baby. His hips don't lie. Oh, baby, when you talk like that.
So you say your hips don't lie. They did not. They hurt. They were telling the truth. They hurt. And the other is that I was reminded that I am getting older. Had my fantasy football draft, and this happened during the week, but I said I wanted to talk about it. So I'm including this in my worst of the weekend because it's bothered me ever since it happened last week. My eyes, man. I now have to put on and take off my glasses when I'm trying to look at things. So at the draft, they had the board up on the wall, and I had to put my glasses on to try to see what was going on. But then from paper right in front of me, I had to take them back off to read what was
I can't wait to see this bit. It's gonna be good. Work it out.
So I feel like I'm a few years away from having my glasses on a chain to walk around my neck. So that is the worst.
We gonna catch Sidney like this. Hold on, y'all. Let me get it. Now hold the paper still. While
my ego won't let me put these glasses back on so I can read these comments.
You need me to read them for you. Oh, Lord have mercy.
I got tears over here. That's why y'all see me leaning there and reading them like this. I'm putting them glasses on. All right.
Good stuff.
So, worse and worse. All right. So, let's get to some comments here. Sorry, guys. I hope you guys are laughing with us because we are having a ball. Wendy says, my best was my birthday party at work. All of my staff showing their appreciation for the best boss ever. That is so great. And you know what? Thank you for reminding me, Wendy. Wendy did have a birthday over the weekend. So applause to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Wendy.
If I wasn't afraid of Stevie Wonder, I'd play some Stevie Wonder for you. She says the worst, 9/11, just a devastating day. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kathleen says, best of the weekend was husband getting more work done for the addition to our shop. Outstanding. Worst of the weekend was Friday night, was only going into my second job to take care of a large group of 24 people. They come in, sit for an hour, having drinks, and then decide they're not eating. We turned down so much business because we had their reservation. Got out of work at 7:30 but made $12 and was too late to make any plans with friends, etc. Waste of a night. Don't put that money in the bank. Put that in put that in the Folgers can. And let me say this for people out there who go out to restaurants like many of us do, don't be an asshole. All right, you come in with 24 people, order some food, or if you're not going to, over tip. All right, and when you're done, get your happy ass up and leave when you know there's a wait. I can't stand. Now I'm not a waiter. I can't stand to see people just sitting there, just like they got all night long to be sitting here, and there is a wait out the door waiting for tables to open up, and you're sitting here with empty wine or water glasses. Plates are empty. Be considerate to your other people who are out to eat along with you. Don't be an asshole. So you're saying your hips don't lie? Yes, that is exactly right. Um, Mary says the alcohol settles in your hips. She's laughing. She thinks, I'm glad you guys think my pain is funny. You guys are terrible. Oh, here comes Wendy. Oh, yeah, best Wolverines winning and Ohio losing. You know what? Yes, I would agree with the second half of that, but who gives a fuck about a Wolverine? All right. Go green. Woody says you need bifocals. How dare you? How dare you? Charlotte said, welcome to 40 years old. Fuck her land, Sydney. You know what, Charlotte? Damn it, you don't have to rub it in. Mary says, worst meeting my husband's oldest friend. I don't know, why is that the worst, Mary? Kathleen's laughing. Mary says, tears just makes the vision worse. It does. When it says thank you. All right, worst weekend of getting a COVID test. Best of the weekend was testing negative. Spending the rest of the weekend handling the business deal. Excuse me. Kathleen says, we primarily only take reservations, so they really effed us by taking up those tables, and I didn't blast little brother. Did you? Okay, all right. You're right. You did not blast your big brother, Wendy. All right, we will move on from the hatred. All right. So we're going to hit our last. Again, I'm going to reset the clock. I think we've done a pretty decent job with the clock. I like the clock. What do you guys think of the clock? Warren?
I like the clock. I like the clock. The clock is good. The clock is good.
I think we've done a pretty decent job with it. All right, we're going to go ahead and knock out, instead of top five, we're doing top three.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I just was reminded that earlier when he first set up the clock, it was ginormous, and now I know why. It was taking up half of his space. I was like, make that smaller. Make that small. What are you doing? Make it small. And he was like, are you sure?
You trying to cut my eyesight? Is that what you trying to say?
Now I understand.
You red bastard. All right, so I'm going to introduce this real quick. Warren, take it away. I need to run and grab some Kleenex real quick. But top three names you've always liked is Warren's top three this week. Warren, and you guys share as you always do. I love you too, Wendy.
I thought it'd be different to think about names you've always liked. Like, for instance, I worked with this girl. Her name was Misty. Everybody called her Misty. Turns out on her paperwork, her name was actually Valeria, and she said she hated her name. She said it sounds like a disease. I don't like it. And to me, it sounded like a Disney princess, Good Queen Valeria. So I always thought that was kind of a neat name. You don't like Valeria? You like Misty better?
Parents, which they try too hard.
Misty sounds like a symptom of malaria.
Sounds like malaria's cousin.
She was right then. But that was the first one. Valeria. It makes me think of her. She was real cool.
What you got, Dion?
My favorite name of all time, without a doubt, is Renee. I love that name. I think it's beautiful. Renee. It's just short, sweet. Love it.
Renee, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay.
Dion's an alcoholic. He meant rose.
Quentin. Wendy. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Quentin is back in Michigan. He's living like over in the Roseville area. Wendy. Okay. Names that we like. I have always been partial to the name Brooke.
Interesting.
He's never been to the house.
I'm just kidding. I was trying to get a reaction.
Whose shoes are those?
Actually, a name I've always liked, Tristan. I've always liked the name Tristan.
With a K or a
Tristan. Tristan with a T. Tristan.
Oh, Tristan. Tristan.
Yeah. I hate that name. That's my half brother's name. Fucking piece of shit.
Warren, what's your next one?
Okay, my friend Mike married he's been married twice. His first wife's name was Bobby, and his second wife's name is Randy. And I always joke with him and go, your next wife's going to be named Gregory, right? because I think it's funny. He keeps marrying, he keeps marrying these women with men's names. But I like Randy. I don't know. Well, Randy, she's great, but the Randi, I don't know. Randy is kind of a neat name for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, what you thinking over there? What you gonna say, buddy?
I was just reminded of South Park. Make love to me, Randy. Anytime I hear the name Randy, it's just this random part where Stan's dad, Randy Marsh, is having like this mental flashback, and one of the women in the flashback goes, "Make love to me, Randy." That just makes me laugh. My second favorite name, an obvious one, is Michelle. I love the name Michelle. There are a couple of great Michelles in my life, and my best friend's name is Michelle, and I love it. So Michelle's a great name. The female version of Michael, if you will.
uh, Another name that I've always loved, and there's a girl I went to school with in middle school, like all through middle school. This was her name. I used it as a character for one of my scripts, Serena. I've always liked the name Serena. It's always been a one that
Serena.
yeah, I liked a lot.
Never
Before we
heard that
do
name.
before we do our third one, let's go to the crew here real quick. Um, this I thought that I like this comment here. I don't know if you watch this show. If you don't, if anyone doesn't watch this show, you're missing out. The show is so good. It's on Apple TV, um, Apple TV Plus. But they say Warren, you. So I don't know who this is. I'm sorry, I can't see your name or your face. But they say Warren, you remind me of Coach Beard from Ted Lasso, and so
Haven't seen it.
that's pretty good. It's a really good show. It's Jason Sudeikis show. Is so
Is it a
excellent.
movie or a TV show?
It's a TV show. It's one of those shows that every time it ends, I say I hate this fucking show. One or two reasons. One, it makes me emotional at almost the end of every episode, and two, it is so well written. It is so great. You got to check it out if you get a chance to.
The Goldbergs does that to me.
The Goldbergs, yeah,
The part where it pulls on the heartstrings.
Yeah.
You got me.
Yep.
You got me.
Allison is with us. She says, "Hey y'all, what's up, Allison?" Kathleen says, "My daughter Zoe had an alter ego when she was a kid and made us call her it, Vanessa, and I've always liked it." I'm sorry, what's that now? Did I read that correctly? My daughter.
She made us call her by it.
I'm okay.
I
I lost the word by then. Yes, a word. If I was wearing his glasses, I would have saw it.
two letters is too small to see. Huh? She'd have put that BYE on there. You'd have seen it.
Facebook user said, "I also knew a piece of shit named Tristan." Kathleen K says, "Boy name I've always liked is Griffin." Cammy says,
Griffin.
Cammy says, "I love the name Cora." That's a good name too, Cammy. That's one of those names though that doesn't seem like it fits to the person gets to be about 40 though. From first month to like age 39. Like, of course, I like an old lady name, but you get to be a little older. Cora fits. Like you got to.
K,
Cora
the K
starts
makes it more youthful. That C Cora definitely older.
Yeah, well, yeah. You make a good point there. Mary says male Randy, female Cindy with an S. Okay, I have not seen that, Mary. I like that one. And Sheila Morgan says, "I've always loved my sister's name, Oni." That's different. That's definitely different. I like that one. Okay, Warren, your third, please.
I think a classic is McLovin.
This is not a real name.
What do you mean? It was on his license.
Love it. What a classic movie. When he gets hit by that car, I lose it every time.
He got hit like 3 times. That was the funniest. And he grabs the small of his back. That's my favorite. My favorite. But actually, my third name. Go ahead.
When he dances with the girl at the party and gets the
yes.
I'm like,
yes.
How did that never happen to any of us as kids? Like, I'm like, it must have happened to someone that at some point
about themselves.
Oh, so good, so good. I'm sorry. What's your third name?
It's actually Bishop. When I was, I don't know, maybe 12 or 13, that's when the movie Aliens came out, the plural, Aliens. And they had the robot, the android, his name was Bishop. And you remember he did the hand trick?
Yep.
he held his hand, took the knife, and went through there.
Yep,
I
I
thought
remember
Bishop
that.
was so cool, so I draw little characters, and I'd always name him Bishop. My very first email address was bishopsolo at AOL.
And that's why we don't let you use big
Bishop.
knives.
Uh,
I'm just sitting there
Can
trying to
you
have a conversation. Come on.
can you picture Sidney trying to do the knife trick with his glasses? Hold your hand still. Hold your hand still.
I need someone with bigger hands. Who's got bigger hands?
Oh, you guys are. I should have never shared with you. Go ahead, Dion. What's your third one?
This is the name I hate. I know we're doing top three, but this name, I can't stand the name Andrea. Every Andrea I have met has either been fat, stupid, or annoying. Just every Andrea that I know has just been just the worst kind of person. Just whether their personality or their physical features just repulsed me. So every Andrea I've ever met, I've just been like, oh, you are just, I am not a fan of you. So I hate the name Andrea.
Didn't you sit with my cousin Andrea at the wedding, at my wedding?
She didn't tell me her name was Andrea.
Oh man! All right. Allison says Nora is one of my faves. Nora is a good one. I like that one too, Allison. I agree with that one. Adriana is another pretty name. Kathleen K says there were tons of names I used to like, but then started teaching. LOL. Mary says I love Marcus Allen. Yes, as one name. Best part, neither parent is a football fan. Marcus Allen, one name. I kind of like them. I kind of like the sound of it, Marcus Allen. I mean, but I think you run the risk of people just calling him Marcus at the end of the day. Warren, when
Sounds
you
like
got
a name in the time of Little House on the Prairie. Marcus Allen, come in the house right now.
Warren, when you guys were naming your youngest, did you guys take in consideration nicknames, people shortening his name? Did you guys think about that at all? I know some parents who think about
I
that.
did.
Yeah,
I did. And then so I would tell everybody in the family, it's this all together. Don't do this. So of course they start messing with me. I'm like, damn, I should have said nothing.
yeah.
But no one does it. Luckily, no one does it.
So one of my favorite names is I'm a huge Shakespeare fan. Huge, love Shakespeare, and one of my favorite names for since I was in middle school, reading the first time I read it. But my wife, not that we're gonna have children, but I used to tell her if we did, we were gonna name her this, and she would not do it because of that reason. She thought people would pick on our daughter, but I love the name Ophelia. And Tamara,
Yeah,
When I'm drunk.
I'd roast your child.
Tara would always say, "Do not name my daughter Ophelia, because then people are gonna say, oh, Ophelia, I like to feel you." But that is one of my favorite names. Favorite names.
I couldn't find a woman who'd allow me to name our child Symphony because I thought it'd be cool to be Symphony Hall. I thought it's already a beautiful thing. People already know it. And look at Dion.
You're putting
Think about
pressure
it,
on the
roasting
child.
my-
I think you're putting pressure on the
roasting my
child.
kid. That look in his face. It's Warren's kid. I want to be nice. Nah, I'm roasting.
I think
With an eye at
Where's
the
the
end.
music,
Symphony.
Hall? Where's the music?
all right, all right. Well,
I can picture little boys now. I can't wait to play that Symphony Hall.
Oh.
see, Cammy likes that
Yeah.
one. Thank you, Cammy. Cammy likes that name. Thank you. Um, Facebook user says my kids all have names that mean something similar. Donovan, Dark Warrior; Alondra, Defender of Mankind; Evangeline, Keeper of Peace; and Miles, Soldier. Who's that, Dion?
Danae Turner.
Okay,
I
Danae,
read it wrong.
I like all of those.
I thought it said Donovan Dark Warren.
No, put your glasses on. Where's your glasses?
That says Warrior. So funny story with Danae and the name Donovan. So I have a joke in my act where I talk about how my wife, wanted to come up with 6 pages of names to name our kid. I'm like, we're not doing that. You give me your top 3. I'll give you my top 3. And I know I didn't like her first one, which was Donovan was her first name, right? So I come with my list. We go back and forth. We decide to kind of mediate, come together, name the baby Donovan. I don't think she even looked at my list, right? So Danae is watching my special at her house. Her son, who's also named Donovan, sees me doing that and goes, wait. Back that up. What? Looks at Danae and goes, call him now. So she calls me. I go, hey, Danae, how's it going? And it's her son. Going, nah, this is her son, Donovan. You knew me when you wrote this joke. I was like, what's going on? What's going on? He goes, you didn't like the name Donovan? He's all mad. But we worked it out. I sent some money. He's not going to hurt me.
He's just waiting to get old enough, bro. He's already put you on notice.
He literally called, though. He called me.
Mary says, my dad almost named me, I believe I'm pronouncing this correct, Marizona. Dad wanted to name Marizona is what he wanted to name her. And then Kathleen says, love it too, but agree 100 that it would lead to being picked on. Love Shakespeare too, Sid. I didn't care. I love that name. I always love that name. Another great show, Warren. We are happy to have you back.
Good to be back.
Good to be back with everyone here. Hopefully, everything kind of went off without a hitch as far as trying to simulcast the show here to YouTube. Thank you guys for watching and being part of the show. We're going to keep trying to fine tune this thing. So thank you guys very much. If you are in the Arizona area, I am doing a live podcast of Murderous Podcast this Wednesday over at Desert Ridge. So check out those tickets. Reach out to me if you think you can make it out for that if you are in the Arizona area. You guys got anything coming up?
A special shout out to Dion. I'm going to tell the story. I was there in his super early days of comedy. I remember he went up, the first time I saw him was at an open mic, and he had a really good set, did a couple different things. And then a couple months later, I saw him, and he had a good set, but he didn't do this one joke I loved. And I was like, hey, man, you didn't do the one joke. I love that joke. And he looks at me, like he's sad, like he's going to disappoint me. He goes, I can't do that joke anymore. It wasn't my joke, and I realized I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done it. And most people would have A, kept a secret, B, still used it, but the fact that he was that new and he still knew that I'm not supposed to do that was really cool. And I don't think I ever said at the time that was a big boy moment. That was cool. So a little shout out.
Like I said earlier, when you first start comedy, you don't know the rules of comedy.
You don't
just
know.
Think you get up there and you talk. And so I had seen a Comic View episode, and I've actually done this bit in real life. The bit was you go to an all black party with one of your white friends, and you know, once the music turns off, you turn to your white friend and you say, who you calling nigga? I can't remember the comic's name who did it on BET, but I was probably in 6th or 7th grade when I saw it. And so when I first started comedy, I would use that because I actually did it in real life. But I didn't know that, you know, it was someone else's bit, so you couldn't do that. And it wasn't until I had actually started doing stand-up and someone was like, yo, you know that's so-and-so. I was like, oh, that's not cool. So the second I found out it wasn't cool, I quit doing it. And yeah, so completely different from Joe Hill knowing better and inboxing the guy.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
yo,
yeah.
I love your bits. But yeah.
And
He's been doing comedy for years.
And we know Warren was slapping people back then, and he ain't hit you, so we know that it worked.
Dion knows he's exempt from the slap list. He knows. He knows.
He didn't know it was all in my pockets. That's why I had more stuff in my pockets. He never frisked me.
Was that back in the day when you could wear those big jeans, those Paco jeans, and you didn't know what a motherfucker had on them?
He had a velour suit. You knew what he had because you could see the shape of everything in his pockets.
I had on one of those P. Diddy track suits. I'm shutting down the studio.
Shutting down the studio.
That's what I was wearing, the shutting down the studio outfit.
That's exactly what it was.
All right, let's get some last comments here from the folks here, from our master debaters. Mary says, love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mary, for jumping on here. Mary's been a great supporter since the first time she's got a chance to see me a few weeks back here in the Valley, and been a good supporter of what we're trying to do. So thank you, Mary, for continuing with that. Kathleen, you've been here from the start, so thank you. But she says, great to see all your handsome faces. Have a great week, fellas. You too, Kathleen. Don't let nobody stiff you. Whoop somebody's ass. Let that get out on the streets. They won't stiff you when they come back in that bitch again, I tell you that. Sheila says, first time watching and I enjoyed it. Can't wait for the next live. Thank you, Sheila. Every Monday we are here. Well, I shouldn't say that. We try to be here every Monday. Less scheduling we have conflicts, but we try to be here every Monday. But thank you for jumping on, Sheila, with us.
Join that Facebook group, Sheila. You'll get the advance notice.
Absolutely. Cammy says, thank you guys for another amazing show. It's so awesome to see all three of your beautiful faces. And it's been wonderful hearing and laughing with all our beautiful community, family. I hope everyone has a fantastic week. Cammy, when I win my first Oscar, guess who's writing my speech? You, Cammy, because you are a lot nicer than me. So I'm gonna let you write it because I'm afraid what I'm gonna say. I might get up there and pull a Michael Jordan. Fuck you. Remember, you ain't you can take this Oscar. Kathleen says, welcome to the group. Sheila says, thanks. Allison says, send good vibes. Absolutely. Let's all send our prayers also to Victoria and her family. If I assume no one else who's been watching us is down in that situation as well. So let's send all our love and prayers to Victoria and her family, Jake and the kids down there, that they make it through safely down there and we get a chance to hear from them tomorrow. Yeah.
I just wanted to add that I'll be in Baltimore this weekend at Magooby's Joke House in Baltimore. Anybody in that area, roughly close, come check us out. Me, Miss Pat, and Cortland Wiggins. This Thursday through Saturday, Magooby's Joke House in Baltimore.
What's up, Warren? You off till you leave again?
I am off for a while. I have a special event in 2 weeks, but I go back on boats in October 19th.
Okay. All right.
More weeks.
Much love to everybody out there. Thank you guys very much. Special shout out to Sheila. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again next week, along with everyone else. Have a great week and weekend, and we will see you next Monday. Fuck you, Dion. We'll see you next month.